Disney's new Lorcana just dropped a couple of weeks ago, and we're already in spoiler season for the second set, the second chapter. I'm super excited for it. I got some notes down. I've been playing Lorcana with my wife recently, and we are loving it, so thought it'd be fun to do like a little review. It's kind of similar to Magic. In fact, it's really strange how close it is to Magic and Pokemon, kind of all rolled into one. Yeah, super cool. Let's jump into it. So we got some new spoilers that just dropped today, starting with Belle, the Hidden Archer. So 5 costing, can't be used as ink, 3/3 with shift 3. This is going to make the other existing Belles a little better, even though one of them's already pretty broken. This one's no different. This one's insane. When I first saw this one, I thought for sure it was fake because of how good it is. The Thorny Arrows ability, whenever this character is challenged, the challenging character's player discards all cards in their hand. So if you want to go after this Belle, you have to sacrifice your entire hand. That's something that, with the first set, I've already found to be kind of annoying coming from Magic. There's not a ton of card draw. Amongst the 6 colors, it seems purple does the card draw the best, but even then it's kind of limited unless you're jumping into gray/steel with a whole new world where that helps your opponent too. You get a whole new hand. So this right here, being able to just nerf your opponent's hand with such limited resources to be able to replenish your hand, this card is going to be absolutely insane. Just looking at this one alone, I've played all the colors, I've done a lot of mix matching. This Belle's going to make green very hard to pass up, and green's already very good at the aggro. But let's jump into the next one. Next up, we finally have a Cinderella, Stout-Hearted. You're going to notice Floodborn. We're getting our very first Floodborn, so that's part of the theme for the second set, is they're introducing a new type of character. And Cinderella here is also boasting the new ability, the new keyword, Resist. So start from top, shift 5. Instead of paying 7, which she can be inked, which is great, you can instead shift her onto an existing Cinderella, and she can be used right away. 3 pips, 3 Lorcanas, or lore, whatever they are. So that's great, so you can get that pretty quick, actually. The Resist 2 is super cool, though. Damage dealt to this character is reduced by 2, which basically means, once she's quested, or she's, you've sent her into combat, she's going to be available to be attacked. The Resist 2 effectively says if your character has 2 or less power, it's that first number here, power toughness. Sorry, I'm a Magic nerd, so that's what these are for me, power and toughness. If you're sending in with 2 or less power, Cinderella's not going to take any damage, period, at all. So that's really strong, which means you need to have a character that has at least a 3 power to even do a single point of damage to Cinderella. So she's going to be very hard to deal with. Red's removal is looking really good right now. The Singing Sword. Whenever you play a song, this character may challenge ready characters this turn. So this is the first we're seeing of this as well. Normally, characters in the ready position, the not tapped position, they can't be challenged. And sometimes that is a pain in the butt. I played a game with my wife recently. She had the Mickey Mouse, the purple Mickey Mouse, who works at the brooms. And the brooms were doing so much work, and I couldn't do anything to stop Mickey Mouse. I didn't have the cards for just straight removal, and she was never questing with it, so it was just staying in a position where I couldn't interact with it, which made it a very strong card. The fact that this ability right here lets us do that, yeah, you have to sing a song first, but yeah, that's going to be very powerful. I'm looking forward to this. Gray's already one of my favorite colors. I'm a huge fan of the Tinkerbell strategy. Tink's probably my favorite right now, and this is going to slot in wonderfully for that. So let's look at the next one. Next up, we got the Dinner Bell. Item 4 can't be inked, so that's something. I've had hands where I can't advance my board because I can't play any more ink, and that's been a problem. So this is something to keep an eye on. Let's see. You know what happens? Tap, pay 2 ink, draw cards equal to the damage on chosen character of yours, then banish them. So this is like, oh, this is good. We're getting card draw, and we're getting card draw that's not in purple. That's really cool. Okay, I like that. You do have to sacrifice a character, and that character has to have damage on them, so you need a little assistance from your opponent, but will this see play? I think initially, there's not a lot of cards to choose from right now, so your choices are very limited. So I think this is going to see some play for a little bit. once we have 3 or 4 sets out, do I think this is going to see play? Probably not so much, unless we're still really handicapped on card draw. Yeah, I've played a couple of color combinations, and being able to keep up on the card draw is challenging. It forces you to play more, a little slower, a little bit more strategically, because you can't just throw everything out, because if they deal with your board, you don't really have a way to recover. So this is a cool card to see come up. It's also a great way when you got one of those big creatures out, and it's just taking out your opponents left and right. They're going to accumulate some damage. This would be a great way to trade them in for a whole bunch of cards. So yeah, I'm leaning towards this is going to see play. It's going to see a lot of play in the beginning, moderate play somewhere after the set's been out for a while. Remember, this set doesn't come out until December, but we may see it sooner on the Pixelborn client, so you can play this game online with people. Not sponsored, not a not an official way to play the game, but you know, those guys are on top of it. Oh, look at that. Next up, we got a new Elsa. Elsa Gloves Off. 4 can be inked. That's huge. 3/4. 1 lore pip. Challenger 3. While challenging this character gets +3. So this is going to attack for 6, which is really great. Outside of that, pretty standard. It's a common. I can't expect too much from it. The other Elsa's going to, you know, we got several Elsas already. Also Elsa's in this color. Yeah, she'll probably see a little play. We'll see. I haven't really played a ton of purple. It does look like a good card. It's going to be really good for that sort of removal. Like right now, there's 2 colors do removal really well. Red is your flat out, hey, I play a card that your card's gone. And then gray is your damage removal. I'm going to deal some damage and hopefully it removes stuff. This is going to be nice though, because Challenger does act as a pretty good board stabilizer. Next up, we have a new Gaston. This one, I've looked at him already. 6, can't be inked. Again, you know how I feel about that. I'm not huge on the non-inking, but 4/4, intellectual powerhouse, and one of the new Floodborns. Shift 4, so you may pay 4 instead of the 6 to shift it onto an existing Gaston, which means you can use them right away in most cases. Develop Brain. When you play this character, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put 1 into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is another card draw, which is really great. It's kind of like it's like Brainstorm, right? Look at the top 3, draw the top 3, put 1 into your hand, put 2 back. So not quite a Brainstorm, but pretty close to a Brainstorm in terms of Magic the Gathering. Brainstorm's a phenomenal card, so this card is also going to be pretty good, I think. Especially if you're going to do a bunch of shifting. Right now, the Gastons that I'm aware of are in red, so you'd be shifting Gaston, red-blue deck. Yeah, this would be pretty sweet. Next up's Merlin! Shapeshifters. I didn't even know Merlin was in the original set till my wife pulled him from a booster pack, and I've never got a chance to actually use him yet, so hopefully I'll get to build a deck with him really soon. But the new Merlin, costs 4, can be inked, which is great. 1/5, Shapeshifter. Let's see. Battle of Wits. Whenever one of your other characters is returned to your hand from play, this character gets +1 lore this turn. So that's interesting. So the only other thing that comes to mind off the top of my head is Ariel in blue. Whenever you play an item, she gains a lore per turn. So that's the only other one I could think of off the top of my head that gains temporary lore based on something else happening. Now, there is a lot of bouncing. So I could see... Oh, green. There's a green card that bounces creatures, but I can't remember if it lets you bounce your own. This is gonna have to be a build around. I don't know how good this is gonna be. A 1/5 for 4 is not bad. It's not great, don't get me wrong. It's not bad. Unless we see more cards like this or that cater to this type of playstyle, right now I don't think this is gonna be a very popular card. I don't think it's gonna see a lot of play. Outside of that, it's pretty cool. Love the picture. I gotta say, the art on these things is phenomenal. As a huge Disney nerd, it's really cool to see these old characters come into life like this. I remember watching The Sword in the Stone as a little kid and thinking how much I love Merlin, and yeah, it's just cool to see these actually being made. Next up, Mickey Mouse. I do love me some Mickey Mouse. We got a 1/6 friendly face, 6 costing, not as expensive, not bad. There's some really great 6 and 7 and 8 and even 9 costing cards in the game that are easy enough to play if you build for it. It can be inked, which is great. Love that. I especially love my high costing cards being inkable, because I hate to be stuck on 4 ink, 7 costing card that I can't do anything with. I hate that. That's the worst. That's the worst situation to be in. 3 pips is phenomenal. That's really strong. Let's see the ability. Glad you're here. Whenever this character quests, you may pay 3 less for the next character you play this turn. See, now that is phenomenal. This basically means if you played this in a gold red deck, you could effectively turn 6, maybe even sooner, turn 5, turn 4, depending if you play your cards right. Get this guy out, quest with him, get the 3 lore, and then all of a sudden you're dropping the 9 costing Maleficent. Yeah, this Mickey Mouse is gonna see a ton of play. This is gonna be a really strong card. I'm excited to build a deck with Mickey Mouse. No idea when the Pixelborn platform is going to have these cards available. I've been reading through the Discord. It sounds like the creator is keen to get these guys added. So I'm betting we're going to be able to play with these guys long before the set physically drops. And I'll dive into that a little bit later. I'll maybe make another video for you guys. There is a client where you can play this game. Next up, we have the Queen Commanding Presence. 5 costing, can be inked, 4/3, another Floodborn, shift 2. You may pay 2 to place on top of another queen. There are several of, I think it's the queen that we have, or am I thinking of the other Maleficents? This might be our first queen, actually. So if that's the case, then we can expect more queens. So that's exciting as well. But look at this. Who we got? Who is the fairest? Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character gets -4 attack, and then chosen character gets +4 attack. So one has to be your opponent's, obviously the negative. And then the other one, it's not specific. I can't imagine why you would give it to your opponent, but it is there. You do got the option. So that's huge. So she can be swinging. This is whenever she quests. So she's not swinging for 8. She's going to gain you 2, and somebody else is going to be swinging with a +4. What's great about the -4, maybe not a lot of people have connected the dots yet, but if you can get another character's power down to 0, you can effectively just swing into it for free, which is really great. It's a fun way to deal with a particular problem on the board. This card, do I think it's going to see play? Right now, I want to say not a lot of play. However, it's going to depend a ton on how many other queens there are and how good they are, right? Because if I can get a queen out on turn 1 and then shift to this on turn 2, that would be insane. But that would require us getting a 1-cost queen, which I don't think is likely. I think we're likely going to get a 2, 3, possibly even a 4-cost. But even then, even if it's a 4-cost, you're only paying two of your inks / mana to play this. I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm stuck in my magic. Your inks or mana. But yeah, it costs you 2, so it's gonna leave you some mana open. It's gonna leave you some ink open to make other plays on your turn 5. So this is, again, provided the other queens are strong, maybe have a decent ability, this could see a ton of play. I'm excited for this one. Next up, we have a very standard, probably our most standard spoiler. Costs 4 ink, can be inked, 5/3, no abilities, has a single pip. Rhea, Warrior of Kumandra. I haven't actually seen this movie. This is the Last Dragon, I believe. I haven't seen it. Yeah, it's a standard. Red's really good at having really big creatures. It's got pretty much all of the best removal in the game. So this just kind of slots right in. Just a big character to deal with things that maybe you don't have removal for, maybe you don't want to pay for the removal at the time. Next up in purple, 3 costs, can't be inked. The Sorcerer's Spellbook. We got us an item. Its ability is called Knowledge. Tap, pay 1, gain 1 lore. Okay, now this is going to be cool. This is effectively a free lore every turn, free. You still pay for 1, you tap it. But this is not a character that can be challenged. So you can't wipe out my board. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a position where I'm like, okay, great. If I take out X, Y, and Z, they won't be able to get to the lore that they need to win this turn. That'll set me up for my win on the following turn. This will make it a lot harder. Cards like Beast are going to be a lot better because they'll be able to destroy an item like this. But right now, this is hard to interact with. So this is going to be, I think this is going to see some pretty decent play. Probably a 2 of, maybe a 3 of in a deck. And likely with a deck that cares about item count, like Tamatoa, the blue giant crab, who gets 1 more lore for every item you have in play. Yeah, this card can be great for that, because that's effectively, you drop this down, that's 2 lore. This guy's going to produce 1, Tamatoa is going to produce an extra 1. just because this exists. So I could see this going really well in a blue-purple deck. Next up, we got Zero to Hero. Hercules, my absolute favorite Disney movie of all time. 2, but can't be inked. Now, when it's a low cost like this, I don't feel so bad that these can't be inked because they're cheap enough to play and get out of my hand. It's when I get stuck with cards that I can't afford to play and I can't do anything with them, hence inking them. I can't ink them. So this, right away, I like that. We got us a song here. Character with cost 2 or more can sing this song. Count the number of characters you have in play. You pay that amount of ink less for the next character you play this turn. This is going to be a math card for sure. Your best bet's going to be to sing with it, and you know, however many characters you have, 1, 2, or 3, you know, you get a discount. That's the best way, I think, is to just sing for it. I think if you're paying for the 2, you're definitely not utilizing this card to its fullest extent. Definitely sing with it. And last but not least, we finally have a Winnie the Pooh. Pretty sure it's our only Winnie the Pooh. Honey Wizard. 5 costing, can be inked for a 5/5. That is a powerhouse. No abilities, goes for 2, quests for 2 lore. That's really great. The art on this is absolutely phenomenal. Falling in purple, looking like purple's gonna be pretty cool this time around. Of course, we only got 12 spoilers. There's 204 cards in the set, so there's a ton more to come. So far, this has been really phenomenal. I got a couple more things. Let's check them out real quick. Oh, I just found a new one that we haven't talked about. Here we go. Tiana, Celebrating Princess. 4 costing, can't be inked for a 1/4. Oh, we got the resist ability again. Resist 2. So far, we got 2 resist revealed, and they're both at 2. I'm curious what the range is going to be on these things. Quest for 2 lore. What you give is what you get. While this character is exerted, and you have exerted is tapped, in case you're wondering. While this character is exerted and you have no cards in your hand, opponents can't play actions. That's not bad. I like seeing restrictions on what my opponent can and cannot do. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Actions aren't the most common thing. Yeah, you're going to see plenty of them throughout a gameplay, but it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a good ability. Now, the thing I'm looking for, see if I can't find images and throw them on the screen for you, is we got 2 new precon decks coming out, and they're going to be Amber and Sapphire and Amethyst and Steel. Let's see if I can't find some real quick. There they are, Amber and Sapphire, so that's going to be a yellow and blue, and then purple and gray will be the other 2. Yeah, we're getting a whole bunch of new stuff. I guess the set's going to contain things from, got a little list here. Winnie the Pooh, Tiana / Princess and the Frog, Jungle Book, Snow White, Great Mouse Detective, Pinocchio, Zootopia, and we did see Raya the Last Dragon. All things coming to this new Rise of the Floodborn. Over 200 new cards. Super excited. Hope you guys are too. For all my viewers all my subscribers who've been here for years and years and years. Yep, Lorcana's the new game, and I'm super excited for it. The wife and I have been collecting them, and we are very excited. I'm going to start doing some deck techs / gameplays through this new game as it's unfolding. Super exciting. If you guys love Disney, this is a great time to jump in and be a part of all the hype. Very excited for this. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys, I don't know, whenever I decide to make another video. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.